No quieting in my household.
We got Garry St. Jean on the line. It's been, oh my God, we left the Saintly one on hold.
Oh, Saintly one knows about
this.
Dude,
the Saintly one. He knows all about the daddy finger, where are you? All that stuff. Garry St. Jean joins our morning roast here on 95.7 The Game. Saintly, we're feeling too good, man. We're lost in the sauce. I went to Lenardi's out there. You would not believe this, Saintly. My daughter, Chestnut, she grabbed the little baby carts that they have at Lenardi's, and she picked the asparagus, and it was so fresh. Then she grabbed a pound of 5-pound potatoes. Then she said, Papa, where are the bagels? Wait, they're down here. She grabs the bagels. We go to the check stand, and it was another successful trip at Lenardi's. And by the way, another successful game for the Warriors. Saintly, good morning.
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. Hey, fellas, I love it. You guys are on top of it. Now, do you really watch Bluey, too?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I haven't got there yet. I'm on Coco and Encanto.
Bluey is very popular for my brother's boys.
Coco Melon.
We graduated through Coco Melon Stink to Heaven, Saintly.
Hey, you guys are coming on. I'm impressed. You're like the Warriors.
There we go. There's so much to pinpoint here. I mean, TJD, let's give him some love here. The rookie out of Indiana who played 4 years obviously played under Mike Woodson, who's got NBA chops. The sequence where he blocks Giannis twice and it comes down the lane. Chris Paul to Steph Curry throws the alley-oop. TJD coming into his own, and it finally feels like Steve Kerr goes, okay, we're all healthy for the first time since November 28th. I have my rotation, and it feels like TJD has cracked that rotation with the way he runs the floor, Saintly.
Fellas, you guys tell me how the heck he went late in the second round.
No,
I don't get it. I'm blown away. That's like Brock Purdy to me. This kid is a great athlete. You guys know who his dad is. His dad was so strong and cut, and this guy is the same way. He just does his job. He's a perfect fit for playing with Chris Paul, playing the pick-and-roll game. He's got great hands. He sets great screens. He can defend, rebound, block shots. You're watching the emergence of the second rookie, and this is an amazing happening, having two rookies in your rotation like that everybody trusts, both players and coaches.
What about CP3 here? Because you alluded to it there. I really think he's such a connective player for Klay Thompson, for the young guys, for the pacing, the control of the game when things get a little hairy with some of these wild units and these different lineups that you try because of, injuries, availability, fouls. I don't know. Having him on the floor, it's almost overstated. It is another coach. And I love seeing the way he's elevated Klay Thompson and someone like Trace Jackson Davis. I've grown to appreciate his game, watching him every single night. I can't talk highly enough about him.
Well, let's admit, when he was on all those other teams, crying to the refs, complaining all the time, we hated him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now you just appreciate who he is as a player. And you're spot on what you're saying, Chasky. Listen, that guy's a veteran QB. He plays the pick and roll beautiful. And what does that do? It makes the defense contract. And when that happens, you're open from the 3 line. So that's a perfect system for him to play in with him. And then he's got Klay Thompson coming off a baseline screen or a drift position for a 3. I think he's really happy here. I think he's excited about the team, the teammates, the coaching. You can just see on his face he's enjoying himself.
No doubt. Garry St. Jean here on the Morning Russ on 95.7 The Game, former Warriors GM, former Kings coach, been in the league for so damn long. We still love him here at 95.7 The Game. And defensively, I thought the game plan against Giannis, he got off to a hot start in the first quarter, but they were able to contain him. Now, you look up the box score, you say 23-7-6. That's not a bad night at the office, but obviously Giannis was contained with the way they walled him off. Saintly, could you speak to the team defensive approach against Giannis and that Bucks offense there to hold him to 9 points in the fourth quarter, to hold the number 2 offense in the league? They averaged 121 points a game. They held him to 90 last night. What did you see defensively as a team that was spearheaded, of course, by Draymond Green?
Well, when you play against a guy like that, you're not going to shut him down. You just want to keep him in check. And what you're trying to do is make him beat you over the top. Entice him to take threes. It didn't work against Jaylen Brown, but against this guy, you want to do that. And what you do is when he gets it out top, you want to be on the elbows and boxes. Well, what the heck does that mean? That means your other 4 players are pinched in the elbows are the intersection of the free throw line and the lane. The boxes are down near the basket and on the lane, and you want your 4 people in there so he doesn't see a lot of space. Make him a passer to his perimeter players. And frankly, guys, I was surprised he even played with the Achilles situation.
Yeah.
And he is, you just got to pay him his due. He is one heck of a player. You know, we always talk about Joker and Embiid as the bigs and for MVP. This guy is a tremendous player. We only see him a couple times, but boy, there's a lot of respect in the NBA for him.
You know, Gary, I'm looking at Moses Moody, for example, and so many young players, whether it's the next level, going from 8th grade to high school or going onto their varsity team or college or whatever, they get frustrated. They don't play a lot. And it's easy for me. And they go, like, Coach, what do I do? It's like, well, you got to maximize your moments. And when you get out there, try to do the best you can. But you get afraid to make a mistake because then you think if I make a mistake, I might not stay on the court longer and I get yanked. I'm watching Moses Moody make the most of every possession he's out there. And I don't think the average person understands how difficult it is for this young man to stay on the floor. And I've been so impressed with him. Talk about it from the coach's experience, how you keep that guy locked in.
Well, the first thing that I remember Steve Kerr saying about him is his maturity, that he didn't get down on himself. And he came in and worked every single day, off season, before practices, whenever, and put his work in. And that's where you compliment the guy. He put the work in, and he was very positive with himself, and he basically said, hey, I'm playing with great players. My time will come. He believed in himself. He didn't put his head down and say, poor me, and go down to the end of the bench. He gets a chance with Wiggins' situation with his family being gone, and he just plays terrific over that road trip, 4 games. So now coaches have gone back to the drawing board, and we're drawn up there 1 through 5. Okay, we got 48 minutes at each spot. Now, how am I going to try, or what is going to be my rotation? So you've seen changes now that have taken place. It looks to me like Saric and Looney are not going to play as much. But you're now going to see Davis playing more, and I think you're going to see Moody playing more.
Yep.
So now you've got Kuminga, Podzinski, Davis, and Moody. You got some young guys. It gives you that feel about the young athleticism. And what is it? Last year, everyone was complaining, we got the old guys and the young guys. Right. They're not coming together. This year, I'm going to give you the eye test of an old coach. It just looks really good. I think they're going to win tonight against the Bulls. They're going to take care of the Spurs back-to-back. And I think, guys, the Warriors are going to climb here. I think they can get all the way up, possibly to 5, maybe 6. There's no reason why not. You've got some teams above them that are struggling. The Mavericks are struggling.
Yep.
The Kings had a terrible loss at home against Chicago, but they bounced back and beat the Lakers last night. Don't tell my son Greg down in Phoenix, but I'm not locked in on them staying where they are. And the only team here that I think can stay up where they are is the Pelicans. They've surprised me. They're playing well. So I think we can be really positive and that Warriors. Bonte, am I correct in saying they've got one of the top 5 easiest schedules the rest of the way?
They do, but they have those 5 monster games against the Mavericks and the Lakers. But Saintly, you're spot on when you talk about the Phoenix Suns. They have the Clippers twice. They have the Celtics twice. They have the Cavaliers in Cleveland, at Milwaukee. We'll see about Philadelphia. They're a little banged up, but they have to go to Denver, Minnesota. Now, Minnesota has an injury here, and they have Minnesota twice. So, certainly, when we take a long view here, or we just kind of scope out here and look at the Western Conference landscape, we were discussing this, and Draymond said it a week ago. FP and I were saying it. Chask and I have been kind of discussing this morning. If you're the Warriors and you're playing this type of basketball, and you're 14-4 in your last 18, and you feel like you finally formed an identity with your rotations, and you know who Kuminga is, Draymond's back, Clay's accepted his role, there's not a team in the West that I think the Warriors should fear. I mean, Denver's Denver. We know they're the champs, but they played Denver tough this year. I know they haven't beat them, but all those games came down to the wire with the exception of the last one there, which was tied at halftime. Is there any team the Warriors should be weary of in the Western Conference?
Well, look at last night. We get the news that Towns has a meniscus tear.
Yep.
For me, that's going to decimate the T-Wolves. I think they're going out in the first round. I love the athleticism and the season that the Thunder have had, but they're not battle-tested in the playoffs. So those two, if you're down below and you're the Warriors or you're the Lakers even, or the Mavericks or Kings, and you get a chance to play one of those two, you feel great. Now, the Nuggets, I'm giving them all the respect, but I don't trust their bench like I did when they won the championship. The Clippers, they've had a great season. Ty Lue's a terrific coach on Steve Kerr's Olympic staff. Any team with Harden gives me suspect thoughts. That's me. I just don't enjoy watching the guy play. So, anyway, with that said, you guys are spot on. Get optimistic, get positive, because this is going to be a nice month.
So how does he balance this, Steve Kerr? Is he communicating with these guys? I mean, clearly they're always communicating, but are you knowing going into a matchup who you're going to go to? Obviously fouls and injuries and things like that. Because he says, I got 10 guys. But we know that he loves Loon, he loves Saric, 11, 12 maybe, and there's going to be certain matchups where you're going to favor other lineups. How hard of a job, I guess, is this for Steve Kerr these last 21 days to make sure he's pulling every lever properly?
Well, guys, it's a good problem, not a bad problem, in having this kind of depth and people that can play. Now, here's your deal. It's not all about the X's and O's. Bonte and I have talked about this a lot in the past. This is about relationships, earning trust and respect with each other. And you sit down with these guys one-on-one, and you tell them, hey, right now, this is what I'm going with. You're not going to get many minutes, but keep ready, because we don't know. This team, look what's gone on all year. Right. I mean, from the Draymond thing to Chris Paul breaking his hand to Wiggins' situation, the first time they've been whole, everybody playing. So This is one of the strengths of Steve Kerr. I think he's a great, great communicator because he's a great guy. And he's done it. He's played. And he's coached for a long time and had great success. I think he's earned the players' respect. So I think this is being handled the right way, and these other guys will stay ready.
Yep. They're total professionals. Looney, Saric, they know the deal here. And their name would be called in certain situations. If you had to play Jokic down the road, you'd probably dust off Looney at some point. Saric's pick-and-pop game will be needed at some point there, so they'll stay ready. That's such a great point, St. Lee, as we're talking to the St. Lee one here. Before we get you out of here, obviously the Warriors win by 35. They dropped 37 assists. They out-rebound the Bucks. The points in the paint, they were plus 18 when it came to points in the paint. What do you make of that Milwaukee team? Because, St. Lee, you watch every game. East Coast, West Coast. We just saw Boston. They're the best team in the East, but I still have my reservations about Boston in close games and the way they play. Milwaukee, to me. Yeah, I do. You know you watch it. Hey, St. Lee, I know you love that. I just got to say, Tatum in crunch time, I get a little worried about him at the isolation basketball. But Milwaukee, something's amiss with Milwaukee. If Middleton's not right, he's their X factor. But something's just off with that team, St. Lee.
Well, you made a big trade. People don't understand how valuable Holiday is going to Boston. He might be the best defensive point guard in the entire league. And he is stone cold tough and a great, great guy, a winner. So now you bring in Lillard, and I think he's starting to play like the Dame up in Portland. But that's a big change. So they struggled before Doc got there with their defense. It was down last night, but out of the All-Star break, they had won 6 in a row. I'm with you, Bonte. I think the Middleton situation is huge.
Yep.
If he cannot play at a high level, they're in trouble. On the other side of the coin, I don't believe Porzingis can stay healthy for 16 playoff wins.
Wow.
And that's going to be staring them right in the face because they're a different team without him.
Yep.
So it makes you feel like, hey, you win, you got a heck of a shot coming out of the West.
Wow, this NBA season, it is up for grabs. St. Lee, it's always good to hear from you. I told you, we got to get you back on more and more and more. We're going to do that here. NBA has a March Madness feel to it with all the play-in stuff and the IST and 10 seeds and 9 seeds and 7 seeds. It's wild right now, but the Warriors are playing some good ball right now, and I like the position they're in. St. Lee, have fun today with the grandkids. Have fun at Lenardi's, man. Try the chowder today. I hear it's really fresh.
Hey, Bonte, I'm running out of the chicken soup. I got to get that for William when I pick him up from school today. A lot of noodles, less broth.
Yes, let's go. St. Lee, tell him Jamie said hi, man. Always a pleasure to have you on the airwaves.
Have a great day.
See you, buddy.
All right, Garry St. Jean, man. He's optimistic. We're optimistic. Are you optimistic out there, Dub Nation? 888-957-9570. He makes so many great points. People forget that he was a coach at a high level next to Don Nelson. He's not optimistic BPA. He takes it game by game.